Yeah, hi, today I'm actually going to be unboxing or unpacking this, which is actually, it should be a steering rack. So we'll see if this is going to be the right one. It's for my Midas here, and of course it also fits the Metro as well. And anyway, so see if we can actually undo this and see what's actually in here. And okay, can we? Okay. The steering rack, and it's got the ends on here, which the garage said make sure it's got the ends on because we need the ends there. These bits are apparently hard to get hold of, but yes, hopefully this is refurbished. It says remanufactured product on here, and there's a bit of yellow blobby writing on here as well. So it's got Rover Group, and it says hoping this is the one for the Metro, and so of course that opens. That's right, that's frightened almost to do that. So yes, you've got your steering column goes on this bit here, or yeah, I think there, and that goes, so that will actually go this side, because it's for right hand drive car, which mine is, of course. So sit on the right side, and we drive on the left but we sit on the right. And anyway, so I've got this steering rack. So it says Austin Metro, there it is, and it says 1980 to 1990. So that will fit both of these two cars. So I should have actually got another one for that one really at some stage. I'm not actually going to fit this myself. I'm going to take this down to the garage. So I'm actually going to put this into the back of the car, ready to just take down to the garage and ask them if this is the correct one. This is what they needed. Well, it is, hopefully it is the correct one, but of course they've got to fit this to the subframe. Ah, that's right, I think that's where the steering column goes in. And anyway, so of course it's quite involving in a way. You have to actually drop the subframe on the car, and just at the back, whether you have to loosen the front bolts, I don't know, and then just drop it down so you can take the old rack off and put the new rack on. And then yeah, let's say Bob's your uncle. And so yeah, I'm going to put this into here like that, and hopefully that's okay. And I also got yes, I've got a couple of debushers here for the anti-roll bar, which are needed for the car. They were £13 for the pair, I think. And I got also a pair of track rod ends as well here, which these are new track rod ends for the Metro, so just to go on the ends of the steering rack. And so that way, that's all the steering components there are new. And I've actually had new ball joints on not long ago, so of course these will are these actually ball joints themselves? I'm not sure. But anyway, these are like the track rod ends go on there, and so that will actually be good for just hopefully what the garage needs. And I don't know when they can buckle it in, of course, and I'll put that in there as well, and I'll put these in there as well. And yeah, so that's then sort of ready to go. And hopefully I want to, this is kind of like a project to get on the road as well. The old Metro here, 998cc or 1 litre engine, and this is, I've kept it because of the short number plate on this car, and the number plate's probably worth more than the actual car itself, I think, possibly. But this is going to be, hopefully, I've got to get new tyres for it all round. In fact, the spare is in here, which the spare tyre is actually okay, but it's old now, so I'm going to get that replaced and put one of the alloys in the Midas for a spare as well. So hopefully this will be at some stage we'll be on the road. I don't know when, of course. It all depends on funding and what's wrong with it and everything. I don't think there's a lot structurally wrong with it. It's just the things like brakes need doing. The engine, of course, need a good service, and it will need like new plugs and points on there, because that doesn't use electronic ignition. That one uses the rotary arm and distributor cap on there. And so yeah, that was so obviously oil change as well, of course. So yeah, full service on this. And the brake pipes, I think, are corroded at the back. Exhaust might need replacing. I do have actually a spare in the garage here as well, but it's an old one, so slightly rusty, but you never know, it could do temporarily on there. And of course, so yeah, hopefully we'll get rid of the steering rack and the debushers. Will get rid of the squeak that's on this car, and also this bit of play in the steering, of course, and so a little bit of wobble on there. And of course, so we need to just drive it carefully at the moment, and until we get it sorted. So hopefully, anyway, yeah, I've got hopefully I've not got a bit of dirt on my knee. And anyway, yeah, so just a little kind of video there, just an unboxing video. Of course, yeah, like getting Metro parts, of course, is you can get them on eBay, some parts, and shop around for various places. There are kind of rover suppliers out there, and it's just a question of hunting them down, finding the bits. What I need to get is actually an expansion tank for the water cooling system, because I actually used the one on the Metro. I used it in the Midas end of last year, and that needs to be no, so I need a new one on there. Actually, I need to get two, really, because I want to get a spare one just in case one of them goes again. And yeah, so of course it's just a question of keeping them maintained, and of course basically mechanically they're kind of the same sort of thing, both Metro parts and side glass suspension. And yeah, they're kind of obviously look a little bit different, of course, different shapes, and this doesn't rust, of course, whereas that does rust, but it's not too bad. A little bit of, actually it's not rusting going through there. Just I have to paint over it a little bit to put some rust inhibitor on there. And so yeah, and this, I've got things like the rear washer needs to be sorted on that at some stage as well, and a few other things, a few cosmetic things really, mostly on that. But yeah, if we get the mechanically side sorted, then it's drivable. It'd be nice to be able to take it out to some shows and things, you know, like the we've got the Rustival Festival, which I've heard about, not been there, but and then of course the there's a one show for the I forgot what it's actually called now. It's the Unexceptional Car Show or something like that. I think that would be another one to go to. Wouldn't it? Take the Metro there, technically unexceptional, but yeah, this one. But this one's got the iconic badge, Mini Metro, which they were actually were called Mini Metros when they first came out, of course, because they were going to be a replacement for the original Mini. But of course, then they decided to keep the original Mini because I think due to popular demand, and people like the old Minis. In fact, the Mini itself, if you like the proper Mini, as some of the enthusiasts say, and classic car enthusiasts, and or the classic Mini, of course, is actually outlasted the Metro. These finished production in 1990, and or 89, 90 were the last ones on the road, and then they had the Rover Metro for a few years, I think, until about 95, something like that, I think. And then the Rover 100 came out for a couple of years, and that ended in 97, I think, 1997. So yeah, so of course the actual classic Metro didn't last, basically only 10 years really, sort of thing. 1980, I think the first ones came out, and they were and then this went up to 1990, but this one is actually 1982 registered, so it's one of the early ones, and the petrol tank filler was actually lower down. The later ones, they moved it further up because it was you know, to stop the spillage, reduce the spillage out the tank, because it wasn't a very good seal or something. And something I actually need to do on this, actually really need to put a better pipe from the fuel tank on there, I think, because yeah, sometimes you smell a bit of petrol, it just slop back a bit. But if I can get a better pipe for it, that'll be better. And yeah, so this is so basically it'd be nice to see that on the road. I did use this as a run around one time for a little while when I still had the Midas, and I actually bought that and I used it to basically, well, really only used it for about a year really, and then it's not been on the road for quite some time. And of course but it would be nice to just to see that running, and yeah, it'd be nice to be able to drive it to some shows and things. So yeah, so I need the funding. So if anyone wants to donate loads of money, millions of pounds to me, and yeah, and well, actually, have millions of pounds. I could, yeah, I think I need about 15 million or so or something. I can get a McLaren F1 then, which was the same designer as the well, the guy who designed the airflows on the Midas, Gordon Murray. Actually, he designed the McLaren F1, of course, and yeah, these aren't worth 15 million. If they were, I wouldn't be able to afford to insure it, and so it'd have to be sold then, sadly. And but yeah, I go, well, hey, all that money, and of course, yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, if someone came along and offered me $1 million for this, you know, it's yours, take it. And yeah, so yeah, 15 million for this, for the Midas, yeah, you can have it. And anyway, but yeah, we can dream, of course. You never know. Probably stand more chance of winning the lottery than somebody offering that amount for these cars. But generally, what is a Metro worth? Well, I mean, it's really as much as somebody will pay, really, isn't it? I mean, you get rare restoration projects that, like barn finds and things, you can get from probably under 1,000, you know, to 1,500, 2,000. Roadworthy ones, like this model, maybe. Actually, the base models are actually probably rarer than some of the MGs and things, I think now. So they are kind of going up a little bit more in proportion. But I think basically the probably what you're looking at 3,500, 4,000, up to maybe up to 6,000 for, and then you can be looking up to anything up to 10,000 for one in really good condition. Of course, that's in pounds. Of course, I mean dollars and whatever and euros is probably not far off that. Of course, similar. And you would take 1,000, I suppose. And yeah, I mean an MG Metro, you can fetch 25,000 in really first class condition. I think the Van Plus as well, that also fetches a good figure, I think, anything from 10 to 15,000 at least. But of course, if you're an enthusiast and you know the exact figures and things of what cars go for, let me know in the comments and see what, you know, it'd be nice to, you know, I'm not saying the figures I'm saying aren't necessarily the actual figures, but they're just estimates, sort of thing. And Midas, what are they worth? Well, again, it depends on the condition really, and they technically well, they are rarer than the Metros, because even there's about less than 700 Midas altogether of the various models, whereas the Metro, there's probably about 1,700 left, I think, altogether, I think. So, which is not many out of millions, of course, but the Midas is still a rarer car, of course. And how many are on the road, of course, I'm not too sure, but how many Metros on the road, again, not exactly sure. But yeah, there's, I suppose there's a fair number out there that are roadworthy, and yeah, so I think these are decent enough, yeah, nice little, well, not decent enough cars, you know, nice cheap classic cars if you want a classic car, and you want something that's that is practical as well. Of course, obviously everybody wants the sports cars, the MGs and that sort of thing, and you know, of course I used to want to try and Spitfire at one time. Anyway, but yeah, so yeah, sorry about the noise there, someone's got a leaf blower across the road. And so anyway, I'm going to sort of sign off. Now I'm going to grab something to eat, and also take these bits down to the garage and show them, and so the mechanics can say yes, how nice, and they're the right parts. And anyway, we'll see you all soon. Anyway, thanks for seeing me and looking at this and waffling on. Hopefully I'll give you a little bit of insight into Metros and Midas and maybe sort of thing. But if you've got an old Metro getting done up, you know, it's going to cost money, of course, but yeah, to get it done up, I mean, why buy spend 30,000 pounds on a little run around, you know, brand new run around, when you can have a classic one, of course, you know, and have something different, something else that other people don't have on the road. Yeah, so I think that's yeah, definitely. I think, you know, I think these have got more character now than probably when they first came out, you know, and yeah, they're not as, maybe the minis, the classic minis, of course, are what people like. You know, they're kind of cute little cars and everything, and they're iconic cars, of course. Metro is sort of not quite as iconic, but it's getting there. And the MG Metros, of course, yeah, they were a bit more iconic. 6R4, of course, they go for quite a lot of money. And so yeah, I think not quite McLaren F1 prices, but they're getting there. And so yeah, if you've got 6R4, look at you. And you know, or maybe not look at you, because the running cost might be horrendous. But anyway, I'll see you all soon, and yeah, and maybe I'll be doing some more fashion videos very soon as well. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye. Thank you all for watching today's video. I hope you've really enjoyed it, and please remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon if you want to get notifications for future videos. Okay.